Hi, I'm Rob Pinnell, professional lacrosse player, and I'm here today to talk about the Evo Warp Pro 2. The changes in the Evo Warp Pro 2 start with the head. The mold of the head is different. It's stiffer for a quicker, tighter release. The face shape is tighter, so you're going to be able to control that ball in the pocket more. That leads to the pocket, which is channeled better in this new pocket. The pocket also has a texture, which is going to allow you to feel that ball on your stick more, and it's going to stay in there when you're cradling and keeping that ball in tight. Also, when you release, the texture in that pocket is going to help add to the whip on your release and allow you to release the ball at points where you want to release it. Depending on the whip variation that you go with, there's going to be either 2 shooters or 3 shooters at the top, and that's something that's new here with the Evo Warp Pro 2. When it comes to the pocket, there's 3 different whip variations. We have whip 1, whip 2, and whip 3. Now, depending on the type of player that you are, I myself use a whip 2. That's right in the middle. The pocket in the whip 2, the ball sits a little lower, but also shifts to the middle of that pocket as you go to shoot and as you carry that stick more horizontal rather than vertical. So for me, someone who likes to carry that stick vertically, it's great. Also horizontal, it'll hold as well, and it'll hold on that shot. Also, we'll have a little bit more whip on it. That ball is going to stay in there. It's going to throw a little on a straighter line, right? Maybe even, you'll feel it come out. You'll feel it catch in that pocket, especially with the texture. Now, the whip 3 takes the whip 2 to another level. For someone who likes to bring that stick back a little further, maybe drop it below parallel, okay? That's where the whip 3 comes into play. It's going to have a little more hold. The ball is going to stick in there a little bit more. The whip 1 is going to be the opposite, right? It's going to fly out of there. You got a quick release. You're more of that vertical player. You're more in the box. That ball is going to come out nice and smooth and go where you want it to go. The great thing about the varying whips is that if you don't know which whip level you are, we have the Warp Performance Guarantee, which if you buy a whip 2 and it's not enough whip for you, you can exchange it for the whip 3. If the whip 2 is too much whip, you can exchange it for a whip 1. One of the greatest features of the Evo Warp Pro 2 is that it's the lightest complete stick and the lightest shaft that Warrior has ever made. At 285 grams, the shaft is 125 grams and the head is 160 grams. Now, if that's not light enough for you, we have removable features that will allow you to play with the weight a little bit. The lock throat technology in the throat of the stick, this is going to prevent rattling. You can take this out and just put the ball stop over where it would go, put your screw in, and play like you would with any other lacrosse stick. The other feature that you can change is the butt end. So we have the end cap, which a lot of players these days prefer having a wider, skinnier butt end that they can really grip when they're shooting and passing and pull on. The variation of that is the plug. It just goes in the end of the shaft and allows you to tape the shaft however you would want it. The Evo Warp Pro 2 comes in both black and white. Me personally, I like the all black setup, but the white one works just as good.
What's going on, guys? This is Zach Curry here, Warrior New Balance athlete, here to educate you about what the Warp is and the features that we've built into it and why it makes it such a good stick. So one question that we always get is, what is whip? Whip is the amount of load time that the ball has in your stick. So low whip will promote a quick release and enhanced accuracy, and high whip will increase your shot power and give you a lot more hold. So when we compare our whip 1 to our whip 4, our whip 1 is going to be the guy who's in tight around the goal, getting the ball out really quick, nice snappy release, where our whip 4 is going to be the player who's shooting the 2-pointers from outside the arc and getting as much shot power as he can into the ball. So the Burn Warp Pro is ideal for the player that is shooting the ball from the outside, like Ryan Brown, who's putting an insane amount of power behind his shot. But it is also good for guys like me. I've had to learn how to get the ball into the back of the net in a bunch of unorthodox ways, whether that's me putting it in one hand, getting underneath my defenseman, diving across the crease, or trying to throw that behind my back. So the added hold in the Burn Warp Pro is perfect. The Evo Warp Pro is designed with a mid-low pocket for guys like Rob Pinnell, who spend a lot of their game working around the crease, dodging from X, getting the ball out quick to their teammates, or putting the ball in the back of the net as quick as possible. The mid pocket in the Burn Warp Pro differs from the mid-low in the Evo because it adds shot power and increased hold. So here we have our Reg Max Warp Pro, which has a high pocket in it, tailored towards the defenseman who needs to scoop up ground balls and throw consistent overpasses. So that's why we've designed the Reg Max Warp Pro to have a Whip 2, and we have also recently released the Reg Max Whip 4 for the LSM that's going to be shooting those 2-pointers.
The Stallion 700 has to feel like it's on a different plane. It's an honest, aggressive, emotional design.
As a player, you don't want to have to think about your equipment or worry about is it going to perform the right way or is it going to let you down, whatever it is. You want to be focused on whatever the play is that you have to make on the field, and for me, the Stallion equipment line is perfect for that.
Jumping from fantastic 500 level heads to a 700 level head means we've achieved a special level of form and function.
We've taken a product that was great and just made it even better. What's great about the STX R&D team is that I can tell them as a player and as an athlete something that I want to see happen to a product and something that I think would make me a better player, and they're able to then take that information and put it into the product.
We initiated a project called Project Stallion, where we dug into the Stallion players, and the first piece that really fell into place was the speed scoop. We didn't just make the head stiffer, but we looked at literally every piece. So the C channel, for example, we made minute little adjustments to make the C channel better, to make it more durable, even than it was. We made minor adjustments to the stringing based on what the Stallion player needs.
Again, you see and you like what it looks like, but the second you play with it, I mean, it's the best available.
The geometry looks familiar, but even there are little minute adjustments to the top rail and to the bottom rail and to the way that the two forward struts interact with the top and the bottom rail, all to improve everything that the player's concerned with.
Getting to watch the company evolve over the past 10 years, it's just been incredible to watch the equipment get better and better and better. And so again, as the athlete gets bigger, faster, stronger, the equipment will reflect that. And I think, where does STX go? We continue to do what we've done since the beginning, which is just make the best product and be the industry leader.
Hammer 500 head is the best head designed for the defensive player.
The speed scoop is our newest feature. And basically what this does is allows the defensive player to have a faster ground ball pickup. They can get through the ground ball smoother and quicker and push transition.
It also has this raised lip at the top of the head, and what that does is it reduces drag. So no matter the angle you're coming in at, this is going to give you reduced drag and ultimately a quicker pickup. We made sure that we made the connection between the top and bottom rails more stable. The original design wasn't bad, but it allowed for a lot of side-to-side play. So we wanted to shore that up, make sure that there was a more stable connection to make those top and bottom rails act as one.
Another core technology in the Hammer 500 is our C-channel technology. We've had that in our heads for years. What we want to do is add more stiffness into it while also maintaining a very strong, durable head. And basically all C-channel does is it distributes stress evenly along the bottom rail and keeps it away from the stringing holes where it could cause breakage and damage to the head. So with all of our products, and Hammer 500 is no different, we go straight to our sponsor teams. Johns Hopkins, Cornell, Syracuse, all those guys, we work very, very closely with the elite level defensemen to find out what's working, what's not working. And we took that feedback into the Hammer 500, into development, and we improved the Hammer 500 in that way.
The players were asking for a little bit more ball control. So what we did, here's the Hammer U and here's the Hammer 500. We actually increased the pinch a little bit. So that gives the player a little bit more of a channel, a little bit more ball control overall, while keeping that same open aspect to the head in order to knock down passes and catch longer passes.
Well, one of the call-out features that I wanted to be very visible on the shelf is the strike plate feature that's up on the shoulders. That way the defensive player, they see that this is the contact zone. We've strengthened the shoulders to be able to take abuse, and we have this little call-out so that they know that this is what it's meant for.